The two teams have combined for 5 touchdowns through 2 weeks, yet that's equaled 3 wins, and I should say only 5 touchdowns through 2 weeks. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz and NFL.com's Pat Kerwin with you on the NFL Preview Show, breaking down the 1-1 Jags, and by the foot of Jason Elam, the 2-0 Broncos, and that is by the slimmest margins that Denver is 2-0. Pat, Denver's been putting up yards left and right, leads the NFL in total yards, but Jay Cutler, although accurate, has still thrown 3 interceptions this year. Does that change this week?
No, well, he's a young player. He's still in his first 16-game cycle. He's going to make mistakes. The expectations and pressures on this kid to perform at a Super Bowl level are extreme. And I hope that the supporting cast, led by Travis Henry, stays healthy enough that it doesn't expose this kid to have to do more than he's already doing, or he's going to start to make more mistakes, not less mistakes. Right now, Travis Henry is the key to this football team, and that's a good thing for Jay.
This Jacksonville defense that he's going to be facing right now is pretty banged up. Gerald Sensabaugh is now put on the IR. Donovan Darius, who was injured last season, is in Miami, and Deion Grant, who was last year's other starting safety, is in Seattle. So all of a sudden, you're looking at a whole new secondary. What does that mean for the Jaguars' defense?
Well, this defense, the run defense for starters, and we're talking about integrating the safeties into that first, that's dropping a safety in the box. You have such great tackles in Jacksonville between Stroud and Henderson can't practice this week. And as Jack Del Rio said to me, he's going to have have some imagination practice because he got his bell rung and he's not going to be able to practice all week, but he'll play in the game. They've got to address the one issue that I think is going to haunt them from the beginning of this game, and that's Travis Henry outside on the outside stretch play. There is absolutely no reason to run the ball inside against those two big players. Remember how the Denver Broncos like to block. They're going to want to cut block. They're going to want to get small linemen into the legs of those two big tackles and take the running play outside. Travis Henry, to me, right now leading the NFL and at 5.4 yards a carry, he is the closest looking player I've seen to Terrell Davis in a Denver unit. Forget all the other guys who've been there. I know Mike Shanahan's looking at Travis Henry and seeing the explosiveness and saying, finally, I got a 2,000-yard back.
That's a big comparison. Not only does he have 2,000 yards one season, he was also an MVP. So that is saying a lot.
I'm saying it.
On the other side, though, Jacksonville, a team that's known for running the football, hasn't been able to do that this year. Just 188 yards in the first 2 games. What is the difference here with Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew? Why haven't they been able to run the football?
I think when you look at the sacks and you look at the running game and you start to say, I better pay attention to this offensive line. I don't think it's happening up front. So they're at 3.4 yards a carry. They're applying pressure. The quarterback's doing a pretty good job. His numbers are fine, but he's been sacked 7 times. You're giving up 3 or 4 sacks. You start looking at the pass protection. People are teeing off on it. And you start looking at the run game. Too many times when I watch these powerful backs, they're both Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew are powerful players, stopping at the line of scrimmage with no hole to cross and find daylight.
That may change this weekend, though, because they're playing a Broncos defense that gave up 157 to Lamont Jordan last weekend. And let's bring in the numbers and more numbers, and that's what the AccuScore prediction is. Computer test, all mathematical, no human element whatsoever. So it is all math and science. They play the game 10,000 times, spit out 10,000 results, and on paper and in wires and computers and everything else that goes into the AccuScore prediction, the Broncos won 54% of the time, but a very close game. The Jaguars offensively have scored just 23 points this season, and we talked about how the Broncos haven't necessarily scored a lot of points either. Do you think the Broncos open it up here?
I don't think they open up. I think this is a game. It's going to be another one of those nail-biters. It's going to be the Jason Elam field goal to win the football game. That's how I see it happen. I do see Denver winning the game with each week. Jay Cutler is more capable of doing more things. And in the meantime, the defense can get upfield. They can rush the passer. They can affect this quarterback. They can, and until that offensive line, Jacksonville shows me more than they've shown me, I'll stick with Denver. Never take the foot out of football. That's what's going to happen.
Well, Jason Elam has won 2 in a row. We talked about the Jags' rushing attack or lack of. Just 12 yards rushing in their last visit to Denver in 2005, but this is a different Broncos defensive line, at least at this point. They're trying to start 3-0. That is the Broncos for the first time since 2003. They kick it off with the Jags, 4:05 p.m. Eastern on CBS from around this game or the rest of Week 3. Be sure to navigate the web, the CBS Audience Network. For Pat Kerwin, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.